So for women that either maybe don't want children, or don't know they want children, why
Mhm.
might the things we're talking about still be important for them? Why might they care about this, even if then babies aren't in their minds?
Yeah. I think for me, I feel like the menstrual cycle is such an indicator of our overall health. So even if we're not trying to conceive, our menstrual cycle is an indicator whether we're on track and things are aligned or we're
Mm,
off track. And it's for me, it's been the one place where I get the feedback very quickly,
mhm,
right? I could literally like that relationship I was telling you about where with my ex-husband, where for years my menstrual cycle was off. And why wasn't I paying attention to that?
mm,
And it also was in my early period in life where my childhood was challenging, to say the least, and, uh, that period of time, my menstrual cycles were also extremely bad, and then when I went off to college, got better,
mm,
med school, fine. I was stressed, but it wasn't it wasn't showing up in my menstrual cycle, and then I met my ex-husband and boom, again, like, worst periods ever. So, I think that we we often ignore it because it's, "Ah, I'm not trying to get pregnant. Who cares?"
mhm,
But if our cycles are regular, if they're healthy, if the blood flow is healthy, uh, all of those are little blinking lights of whether or not our body is in an optimal state of health
mhm.
and whether or not we are in a soul alignment with our spirit.
Yeah. Mhm,
And the reason that I know that this is true is fertility is the one part of our body, our physiology that we don't need for our survival.
mm,
So, and I think of this as an on-off switch, right? Fertility can go on and off very easily. Anytime we need to conserve resources, anytime that our survival as a human is threatened, the body goes, "Oh, time to shut off fertility," because it's the easiest thing to
mm,
shut off, right? It's not gonna affect anything. You can't shut off heart function.
mhm.
You can't shut off the brain. You can't shut off gut health. Like, all of those are pretty critical to human
Yeah.
existence. So the first thing to shut off is fertility. But as soon as that, fight or flight threat response goes away, we can turn the fertility switch back on.
Mm,
So, for women that are like, "Oh, some cycles are really bad, other cycles not so bad." And I'm like, "Okay, well, what's happening in your life around these cycles?" And they're like, "I don't know." Like, "Okay, let's observe. Let's take
mm,
some stock about what's going on in and around your life when you have those bad cycles." And almost always, it's the month before was not great, you're gonna have a bad cycle,
mhm.
right? So, it's kind of your report card of whether or not your body was in survival mode or in safety mode. And
Yeah.
I know that the health our health is going to be optimal when we're in safety mode. So, anytime we're in survival, it's a problem. And if we use this as an indicator of how much time am I spending in survival versus safety, then I have an overall view of am I in health or am I in existence and
Mm,
what do I need to do to survive?
yes. Yes. Oh gosh, so much, so agree with everything you've said there. It, um, it really strikes me how disconnected from our cycles we are as women, and the way that if it's if it's kind of functioning fine. I remember myself, I used to at points get pain, sometimes quite a lot of pain, but when there wasn't a problem, it wasn't really like I had a particular connection or anything. It was almost just like, oh, it's not a problem. It's kind of out of sight, out of mind. And it was only as I
Yeah.
started to create this relationship where I was kind of like got to the point where of being almost in awe of my cycle, you know, in love with my
Uh-huh.
cycle, and really sort of almost in the way that I might be with one of my dogs, for example, you know, like paying attention,
Yeah,
caring, loving. Oh, this is
yeah.
different. Why might that be? A completely different way of orientating. And it
Uh-huh.
strikes me that culturally, it's either a problem to fix or it's just a thing that's happening and I can just ignore it. Um,
Right.
and my own path has been realizing, oh no, something else is available. And I love the way your work is showing there's a kind of, you know, a very real reason if we care about fertility, we care about our health, to also pay attention. Yeah,
Yes.
such an important message. I think that we have, I believe as women, we always had, you know, for most of human
Yeah.
history, and it's something we've forgotten.